plays they were going to run. They ran some new ones, but, I have a specific job I need to do, and, it doesn't matter who I line up against. I got to do the job that I was told to do, and, some of the plays, obviously they're on the goal line. I feel like I didn't perform the way that I should have. It doesn't matter if it's, a 330-pound offensive guard or the tackle or the center or whoever. I just got to perform and do, what I'm asked to do as a football player. So,
Coach Harbaugh talked about fits. What were some of the things that went wrong in the running game?
It's difficult to say in terms of the other players. I've mainly only evaluated myself. I know what I need to improve on and, the fits that I need to work on. And, obviously everyone's going to have something that they need to work on from this game. And, I know what I need to improve on going forward. So,
what's the tenor of the locker room right now?
It's a loss. We obviously, it's not going to be the same thing as after a win. We know what we need to work on. Last year we lost our first game. We went on a 10-game win streak. One loss doesn't define us. Going forward, we just need to improve on, what we saw in the game, and we can be better for it. That's the most important thing to take away from it.
How difficult is it to kind of regroup in the middle, or I guess this is pretty early in the season, but is that a challenge at all to say, like, all right, here's what we have to fix, and being able to do all of that right here in the beginning?
No, I don't think that's difficult. Our goal from the beginning of the season and now is to be the best team that we can be. Our goals haven't changed from the first game to now. And, all the players want the same thing, and that's to be the best that we can be as a team. And to do that, we're going to need to come together, we're going to need to believe in each other, and we're going to need to understand that we need to get as good as we can individually and as a team to move forward and succeed.
How do you block the outside noise or critics, about this program where it is right now?
It's not very hard. I imagine a lot of people don't have a lot of very good things to say about us right now, but that's not what's important, because going forward, if we do what we know that we can do, if we improve on what we can, we can be very successful, and that's all we really need to focus on.
Do you block it out? You take social media stuff off your phone or ignore it or not?
I go on social media. It's not really a big deal to me. I've had brothers that have dealt with the same thing, and it's just not a big deal. I really only care about what my teammates and what my coaches have to say, and then other than that, just my family.
What's the confidence level like in the locker room that you can come back from something like this? Like you said, last year you lost the first game, but then went on a 10-game win streak.
Yeah, we know what we can do. We have really extraordinary players on our team that can make a lot of plays. We've seen it in the past, and we'll see it going forward. And we know that we have the ability to be successful as a team and as individuals, and I think that we're going to do that.
Jordan, you've been here since the beginning of the Harbaugh era. Did this loss feel any different from any other ones in previous years?
There've been a lot of tough losses since I've been here, and I don't think that we've let any of those losses really define us. Michigan State the first year I was here was a very difficult loss, and I feel like as Coach Harbaugh, as our coach and as our leader, we've been able to rebound very well from losses, whether we lose, whatever we lose from or whatever reason. I feel that, we can go on to be a successful team and we can improve going forward. So,
some of your teammates said after the game they came out flat, that the team just didn't have that energy level, and coming off a bye, how do you explain that?
I feel that we've prepared how we would any other week. Sometimes you prepare as hard as you can and you go out with as much energy as you can give, and it just doesn't go your way. And sometimes that's the day, sometimes there are other variables, but that's just how it was. That's just how it was that day, I think. So,
what are you gonna do against teams that decide that what Wisconsin did is a template for how to attack this defense to muscle you guys on the ground?
We're gonna fix the issues that we saw in the Wisconsin game. I have no doubt about that. We have a great coaching staff. you know, we're gonna close up the holes that Wisconsin was able to create on us, and we're gonna fix it. So if another team wants to do it, they're not gonna have the same success that Wisconsin had, because we're gonna fix the problems that we saw last Saturday.
What were some of those problems, Jordan? What were some of those problems specifically?
I mean, like I said, I could really only speak individually.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't really looking at the team as a whole. I can't really speak to what the defensive line or what the safeties. I just know what I need to improve on. So, you know, that's all I could really
Jordan,
speak to.
do you think you guys were out schemed or out hustled, or what do you think?
I mean, our defensive staff, and I could really only speak for the defense, you know, we come up with a game plan. As long as we fit right, as long as we do everything we know that we can do, we should be successful. So I could really only speak to, you know, how the players played, how I played, and I mean, you could go back to every single play that they ran, and in the defense that we had, we should have been able to stop them if everyone did the right thing. That's all I really got to say.
What's been Don's message to you guys?
I mean, we just got to improve. We just got to come together. After every loss, you just got to fix the problems that were present, and you can learn a lot more than in a loss than you could in a win. So.
Linebacker Jordan Anthony is also available right behind.
Jordan, it's 3 games in. Cannon probably hasn't said it. It has, among fans, like you said, there are a lot of not nice things being said. Is this a situation where players get together and meet solo, no coaches?
I mean, I feel that we're very close as a player group, and I think that we understand each other very well. We talk outside of the facility, inside of the facility. We encourage each other. We understand what we need to do. I don't know if we're going to have any player meetings per se, but I know that people watch film, do the stuff they need to do individually with their position group. People understand what they need to do to be successful on this team, and I think that we're going to do what we need to do.
What's your reaction when you hear Jim Harbaugh coming in saying you got outplayed, out prepared, out coached? What is a player's reaction to that?
Well, like I said, I could really only speak to the players, and as a player myself, I feel like, you know, I was outplayed in some respects, and you know, you just got to come back and you got to fix that problem. So, I mean, I'm going to do all I can to prevent myself from being outplayed, and you know, that's all I can really speak to.
Last couple for Jordan here.
You talked about especially the 2015 loss to Michigan State being really hard. So how did you kind of recover from that one?
You know, I was a freshman then. It just kind of popped into my mind as, you know, a difficult loss, but and you know, our team was very successful that year. I feel, or successful that year. I just feel like, you know, every team has hard losses, and we've been able to rebound well from them, and I see ourselves doing the same thing this year. So.
You mentioned blocking out some of that criticism. Is that any tougher when it comes from like former players or guys who played here?
You know, I feel that when players leave, you know, they want to have that sort of, they feel like, you know, they understand what's going inside the building. You know, they're not, you know, the past players that have been out here for 10 years don't know really any of the guys that are in here. You know, they've never played with us. They don't know how we act. They don't know how we prepare. And, you know, we give all of ourselves to this game. You know, I don't think it's right to say that we don't do that. Is it wrong to say that we got outplayed as players? Probably not, but, you know, we're going to try and fix that as best we can. So.
Last one for Jordan.
Can you kind of pinpoint throughout your time here, like what this team has been missing in these big games on the road?
I mean, I would have to say individual performance. I mean, like I said, I could really only speak to myself, and I've only become a large contributor on the defense this year, so it's kind of difficult to say, to kind of pinpoint specific games or specific instances. But, you know, in this game, I just know that I needed to play better, that other people probably needed to play better as well. And, you know, that's really all it comes down to. When you get out on the field, it's, you know, 11 versus 11, 1 versus 1, you know, and you just got to win those matchups.